What's up, guys? Welcome back to Clash with M. Today we have some very exciting news about the new March update. So now that it's came out, I really wanted to dive in and go over all the new stuff that's coming with the update, as well as an accidental sneak peek of the new Super Yeti, but let's dive in. As most people have already seen, there is no more training time when you're training your army. That being said, it is being put on a slight pause while they collect all of the bases. Otherwise, everyone will just jump straight up to Legends, so they do need a few days to collect all those extra bases so we're not constantly stuck in the clouds, but the training times will fully be removed in a few days. They said to give them some time, so be patient on that one, but with this update, there is no more training times for your troops. You can just train anything you want, and it'll be trained and you can attack with it. There was a new menu made for the new trainings. There's like a blue information button now. I think the old one was better, but you know, it is what it is. So this is the new menu. It's just got like a bunch of little things. Along with the icon at the bottom, it's got a barbarian and a clone spell. I don't like it that much, but some people really do. So that's the new menu overlook. Additionally, to be introduced, we now have a new pet called Sneezy. This one flies behind the troop and spawns these little air unit things. And they attack buildings while the pet goes in the background. However, once your hero dies, it does have a rage effect and it just smashes everything around it. So I think it's pretty cool. I think it has some good potential. It's got the achoo. It sneezes when their hero falls and attacks everything. So I think it's pretty cool. And these are the little sinister boogers that fly around and attack everything. They get spawned kind of like how the skeleton spell spawn skeletons does the same thing. The higher you level it up, the more units it is going to have. So I think it has some sort of benefit, but I won't be using it until it's fully maxed, so that's just me. Additionally, along with a new pet, there is a new troop called the Furnace. We've seen this in other games like Clash Royale. It's similar to the Siege Barrack, where it's going to sit there and spawn units, but it's not going to move at all. So it's going to spawn these little fire units. It doesn't do a lot of damage at the initial jump, but the little flames at the bottom will burn the building, so... And they did mention that it doesn't matter how many fires you've set under it, it's going to have the same amount of damage either way. And depending on the level will depend on how many units are spawned, and when it breaks, it does not disperse anything else, it just breaks. And these are little fire mites that it spawns. They don't do a whole lot of damage, but it could be good when you're trying to funnel, so... And they have no target preference, they just attack everything. We were given a lot of new things this update, but the next one is going to be the new equipment, the Noble Iron. This is going to be similar to a super minion when you first place it, how it has some really, really high attacks, and then it goes towards the buildings and has a lesser attack. So this will happen immediately when you place the minion prints. So you don't get to pick when you use this ability, it just happens. But I think it could have some good benefits in it, depending on what you pair it with. Depending on the level, depends on the attack count and the attack range. So it'd probably need to be maxed to have its full effect. But it also is similar to the Rocket Sphere with the RC, but it does happen automatically, so you don't get to pick when you place it. In terms of the new donation and clan perks update, every clan is now going to have a 10-minute timer when it comes to donating troops. Unless you have the Gold Pass, they have mentioned that the Gold Pass will allow you to back-to-back request troops after your attack. But with these new perks, once you hit certain tiers, you get to donate more troops. So instead of the time being reduced, it'll be the troops you can donate. So tier 2 is 10 troops, tier 3 is to donate 2 spells, tier 4 is 15 troops, tier 6 is 25 troops, tier 7 is 3 spells, and tier 8 is 40 troops. Depending on your level will depend on what your clan can donate. As mentioned, the new Gold Pass reward, the donation request reduction, is in effect instead of the training boosts. So when you're at the level 1, you have a 30% time reduction, level 2 is 60% time reduction, level 3 is 80% time reduction for those clan castle requests. So it's pretty cool, and it is on the bonus track of the Gold Pass. So we did snag some new achievements with the multi-archers, the cannons, the fire spitters, and the multi-gear towers. These are all the new achievements that they were given just because when Town Hall 17 came out, there wasn't necessarily any more achievements, but these have been added, so you can go ahead and attack at Town Hall 16 and 17 and get some extra gems for destroying these buildings. So it's these 4. Additionally, there was a ton of new building levels added to Town Hall 17. For example, the army camps are now going to level 13, the Inferno Towers are going to level 11, Builder Huts level 7, Monolith level 4, the Dark Barracks level 12, Pet House level 11, And then we have some extra troop levels as well, with the Yeti going to level 7, the Golem going to level 14, the Ice Golem going to level 9, Hog Rider going to 14, Bat Spell going to 7. These are going to be super important in terms of attacks because, as you can see, the Yeti did get an extra level, which does hint towards the Super Yeti, which I don't think they meant to drop, but now we know, and I do have some footage of that, so I will go over that a little bit later. But the fact that the Hog Rider and the Bat Spell are getting a level is pretty interesting to me, as well as the Ice Golem, because these are going to be used in many attacks that I think could be the new meta. We also got some additional pet levels for the Unicorn. It can now go from level 11 to 15, so it doesn't cap at 10 anymore. You can go to level 15 with the Unicorn, which is pretty cool. We also got some new supercharged levels for Town Hall 17. The Multi-Gear Tower can now be supercharged, Inferno Towers can be supercharged, the Builder Huts can be supercharged, and the Monolith can also be supercharged, as well as 75 more walls. 75 more walls will be unlocked for Town Hall 17, so you can get so many more walls done and hopefully, continue to max your base. While this is going in the background, we did have some quality of life improvements as well. There's a new trophy curve, so now when you get a 1-star, it really affects how many trophies you can get, so people won't just sit there and spam their troops. So you'll have a lot less trophies when you get a 1-star, but then 2 and 3 stars won't really affect it too much. So the maximum number of trophies you can win is 44, and the maximum amount of trophies you can lose is 44. So there won't be some crazy amount of trophies being lost. As well as the new spam attack prevention. Unlike previous times, if you would place all your troops and then quit the app and then log back in, you could immediately start a new battle. This is not the case anymore. You will have to wait for your army to completely finish. Kind of like when you attack in Builder Base, you close the app. You can't get the loot until the attack is done. It's similar to that, but you physically cannot click the attack button until your troops have came back from that battle. So it does prevent the spam attack, but if you're just one to just not want to sit there and watch it, you can still quit the app and log back in. You just won't be able to attack until all of the troops are back into your camps. With the new wall upgrader, you can now select 325 walls at the same time. I use it sometimes on my lower accounts, but for the higher accounts, you're not going to be upgrading 325 walls at the same time, so it's okay. More of a visual effect, since the builders are no longer spending their time removing obstacles, the villagers are now going to take them over. It's just a visual thing, so when you go to remove it, it's going to be the villagers coming after here, taking it out. It's literally just a visual effect, but pretty cool. There was some more visual updates made to the troop launcher. Now it just looks a bit better, whereas before it looked kind of weird. I guess they changed it, so now it looks a little bit better for visual effect. Like I said, I didn't really pay much attention to it, but pretty cool that they were paying attention to that. They upgraded the layout for the hero skins, so now it just looks a bit better. Still makes me mad there's no pixel minion, but whatever. So it looks a bit nice and clean now, so that's pretty cool. They also made some economy changes, so now there's a lot of reductions in buildings, traps, troops, spells, heroes, pets. Everything has been reduced depending on the town hall, so things will seem cheaper, which is pretty awesome. I think it's good because there was a ton of problems in terms of the economy. So now it's a bit easier to upgrade stuff, and they have adjusted that a little bit, which is pretty cool. And finally, the moment you have all been waiting for. Yes, there was a sneak peek of the Super Yeti, and I will be using this in War for my next attack, but while we're waiting on that, I do want to go ahead and talk about the damage it does, because it is an extremely powerful troop in terms of blimping. So let's go over some of the footage now. It's pretty awesome. I don't know when they're going to remove it, but I don't think they meant to drop this update, so it's pretty cool that we get to see it, and hopefully it does get released soon because I'm very, very excited for this. In terms of receiving this troop, it does vary per person, but I have found out that if you just request a blank clan castle, somebody who has the ability to donate can go in and use it. So you can get the troop that way. Some people can use it through raid medals. I personally wasn't able to do that, so just check out your base and figure out how it goes. Another method is if you go into the quick training, you can actually go and pull it up there. So this Super Yeti, it starts off at level 6, which I haven't verified yet, but I'm pretty sure you can unlock it in Town Hall 13 or 14. I'll check later, but similar to the normal Yeti, it does produce these little Yeti mites, and they do somewhat of an E-Dragon chain effect where they just zap things. So it's pretty cool. I'm going to go through the demo, let it play, and you guys can just watch it. And just like that, they're pretty good in terms of actually pulling some defense, but we're going to show that in real time with the Town Hall 17 attack and give you guys a little preview of it. Here's some information about the electromites. Like I said, this is a thing that Supercell, I don't think, meant to release, so it's not going to be up for very long, but take a look at all the numbers because, like I said, I don't know how long it's going to be up there, so it's pretty cool. I thought it was pretty interesting, and I'm really excited to use it. For this attack specifically, I took a Super Yeti and a normal Yeti because typically I'd be using 3 regular Yetis, but we'll see how it goes. I'm going to let it play. As you can see with the normal Yeti blimp, it doesn't necessarily clone the Super Yetis, which I want it to. So with my next attack, I will be taking just one single Super Yeti. It does take up 35 housing space, so it's kind of a big jump. But you can see the little electromites going after stuff, but it's not as good as the straight Super Yeti, and you'll see that in my next attack. As mentioned, I am going to remove the regular Yeti and test just the Super Yeti because there is some crazy chain value when it comes to the Super Yeti. We're going to throw the blimp and show exactly what it's going to do. So, as the blimp approaches, I throw a rage, a clone, and some clones around the area so it can clone those electromites. And as you can see, they are just running. They are running and they are not stopping and they are cloning and zapping every single thing in their way. Keep in mind, all I have done is placed a blimp, 3 clones, and a rage, and this is what happened. This is almost half the base, and I don't even have my heroes or army placed yet, so it is insane amount of value, and I think this is going to be the new meta, so pretty crazy. I think this is going to really show Supercell, oh my gosh, we should probably pull back a bit, but that is the damage it can do. Here's some more examples from a different angle. Same thing, I'm going to be taking my blimp, sending it straight there. When the blimp falls, it's going to go with a clone and a rage, and then I'm just going to place those extra clones around the blimp so it can clone those electromites. So, no necessarily rhyme or reason yet, but it's just, they're just running and taking out literally everything, and it's insane. The multi-infernos don't have enough power to sit there and take all of them at the same time, so they just zap everything. Like, there's no key defenses on this base anymore. Like, there's barely any, and it's insane. As mentioned earlier, I do have some war attacks that I need to do, and I want to use the Super Yeti, which is kind of risky, but I'm willing to do it for you guys, so let's see. On this war map, I am number 18, so do I full send a higher base? I think so. I want to find something that has some good chain value, but also has a lot of those key defenses in the same area. This one looks okay. Too far apart. You know, I'm a little bit nervous, I can't lie, but I do want to try it, so oh, this is a good base. Let's do this one. I do have a boost right now for my Town Hall, so it does give me somewhat of a benefit, so let's go. I haven't done a live attack in a while, so if I go quiet, sorry, that's just how I am. I'll throw some music on in the background so you guys can listen. One of my biggest concerns right now is going to be those air sweepers, as always, because air sweepers are the devil, and I will die on that hill. Since I don't have any freeze, I don't have any counter for the air sweepers, so we're just going to hope that it makes it as far as possible and is able to clone a good amount. So I'm going to drop it right now. 1, 2, 3. And let's see if they clone. There goes some damage. Looks like they're caught on the CC troops. Oh, there we go. We're moving now. I can tell there's definitely a rhyme or reason to how you're supposed to attack with these, but overall, they're doing such a good job just as is. Town Hall's down. I don't know if it's going to be a 3-star, but regardless, those Yeti mites absolutely wiped the board in terms of that Town Hall. And for the town hall damage, it's insane that they even got close to it. It's gonna be close. But yeah, definitely give these Yetis a try. They have a lot of, I think they have a lot of potential in terms of a new troop and a new meta, so. But yeah, they wiped the board. Am I sad I didn't get 3-star? Yeah. It's one of those things where I wish I would have got like an 80% instead of a high 90%, but you know, what can you do? Oh, owl clutch. Nice. Let me know what you guys think of the new troop. It's pretty awesome. I hope to see some good things with it, and I hope they actually release it now because they accidentally did leak it. I'm interested to see if they release anything about it because it's one of those things, you know. But anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. Please like and subscribe and share with your friends. I did want to give a quick shout out to my friends who have been there to support me and the community that I've met. You guys are truly amazing, and I know this video is a bit chaotic and a little less structured than normal, but these people that I've met have really inspired me to be myself, and that's not always perfect. So these videos will be a bit more raw and just myself, and I have a hard time speaking sometimes, but I hope you guys go with me with that because it's what I enjoy doing, and I want to be myself, and they've really inspired me to do so. So I hope you guys join the Discord and meet them. It's pretty amazing. We built a lovely community there, and thank you guys so much. I appreciate you guys. Bye.